If you walk into most FMCG businesses tomorrow and you ask the question, where does your data live? You would probably get different answers from different persons. This is because certain teams work with the ERP, some with spreadsheets, and while others work with their dashboards. So, somewhere in between all of those systems, files, important reports, you find out that information would slip through the cracks. Today, I want to show you where data actually lives inside an FMCG business and why understanding that environment is one of the first things every analyst should learn. In our previous video, we discussed how FMCG businesses make or come to their decisions. There, we try to balance data, experience, and business realities, which is sometimes politics. Today, we are taking a step backwards to look where data actually comes from in the first place. Because before you can analyze the numbers, you need to understand the system and the process behind them. So let's talk about the ERP system. They are the center of FMCG businesses, and ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. They are business systems that helps or connect purchasing, sales, production, finance, and even logistics. So some of the common platforms you might have heard of are SAP and Microsoft Dynamics. When these ERP systems are connected properly, they can provide a connected view of the business, both from purchase of raw materials all the way through invoicing. But the reality is often more complicated than what you think. Many organizations are not getting the full value of their ERP systems. Sometimes the implementation was incomplete, might be cost. Sometimes users also try to bypass this system because they feel it is too complex to understand. When users try to bypass these systems, they find out that the data entered becomes inconsistent across multiple departments. The ERP system may contain the most important data in the business, but the quality of what comes out will always depend on the quality of what goes in. Now, let's talk about BI tools and dashboards, which are another place where data lives in FMCG businesses. There are business intelligence tools such as Power BI, Tableau, we have Incotha, and a whole lot of others. These are tools that pull information from multiple resources, transform this raw information or data into dashboards and reports that managers can interact with. When done well, they can dramatically improve visibility across the business. A sales director can review performance by customers, product, region without any manual reporting, and this can be done near real time. But there is an important lesson here. The dashboard is only as reliable as the data feeding it. You can build an impressive dashboard on top of a poor quality data, still end up making poor decisions. The tool is important. The data behind the tool is even more important. Now let's talk about spreadsheets, which are often relatable with anyone. In theory, spreadsheets are temporary solutions, but in practice, they are often critical part of the business. You find out businesses use them for a whole lot of process like demand planning, sales tracking, and a whole lot of others. This is not necessarily bad, but in many growing businesses, spreadsheets provide flexibility that larger systems sometimes cannot. but they also come with risk. Files get duplicated, versions become difficult to track, important formulas get overwritten, and sometimes critical knowledge sits with one person who knows exactly how the file works. As analysts, it is important to know how to work with spreadsheets based processes. But it is equally important to identify opportunities to make these processes more reliable and sustainable over time. Now, let's talk about something that receives far less attention than it should. Every FMCG business has information that never makes it into a formal system. It might live in someone's notebook, it might live in a WhatsApp conversation or a phone call, or it can be market visits, data, or feedback that never made it to any spreadsheet or information board, or a sales record that was never recorded, a customer complaint that was never seen in your CRM, or a promotion that was executed in the field but was never captured in a report. These are not technological gaps, they are simply visibility gaps. And every visibility gaps creates a blind spot for decision making. One of the most valuable things an analyst can do when joining a new organization is to understand where data exists, where it flows, how reliable is it, and where the gaps are. That understanding becomes the foundation for every dashboard and insight that follows. In our next video, we are going to look at some of the myths that are most common in FMCG businesses and why those myths often hold organizations back. If you are currently working in FMCG, I would love to hear from you. Where does most of your data live today? Is it in your ERP system, your dashboards, or spreadsheets? Or are there other conflicting areas that we can find information? Please comment below and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.